Hey guys, Crewman here, and I started my crypto mining journey at the end of 2020, and I started my YouTube channel when ETH crashed in 2022. So it's been a crazy, basically almost 5 years at this point, and I'd be lying if I didn't tell you there were a lot of ups and a lot of downs. I went from a garage to a shed to all server cases, to then upgrading to all mining specific GPUs, to then liquidating the entire farm. And each inflection point in mining, I either had to reinvent or shut the farm down. And I was able to keep it going for almost 3 years after the ETH merge. But this year, my power rate got too high as it got jacked up to about 18 cents. And that was that. Mining was finished for me. So as I was looking in my shed at the little bit of equipment I had left, I thought to myself, how can I make this profitable? What can I do to get these old Warthog rigs up and mining? So I looked at some of the rental services and I noticed Salad. The thing I like about Salad is it kind of encourages you to use cheaper GPUs and you don't need to use the highest equipment. Not everybody has a 4090 laying around or 40 series GPUs. In fact, the majority of miners are still mining on 30 series GPUs, which are pretty solid for Salad. Fast forward to a few days after looking into Salad, I actually partnered with them to get this video out to you guys, as I want to show you that Salad is basically the only way to be profitable on a 30 series GPU. All you have to do is go to hashrate.no, plug in your power rate, 18 cents is mine, and I suspect that's close to basically the national average at this point. And you can see how miserable profits are for everything. We start at negative 6 cents a day, not hour, a day, and we work our way all the way down to about negative 24 to 30 cents. Alright, so let me show you the hardware I'm using for my first Salad rig. This was originally a Warthog rig, basically as is, except it had a 3070 Ti on it. I swapped it out to an RTX 3060 Ti 12 gig, as this was one of the more in-demand cards on Salad, and I figured it would be a great one to show you what Salad is capable of, as so many people still have this card, and I hope you're not mining on it, because as you can see up here, it is really not profitable. So anyway, we built the rig. Like I said, basically all I had to do was take the M.2 and swap it from Linux to Windows, because this does not work on Linux as of now, and it does only work on NVIDIA GPUs. So sorry to everyone who's got an AMD GPU, but if you listen to me, hopefully you got rid of those a long time ago, because they're just not worth having to try to be profitable on. So I do want to preface this with one additional thing. Salad is not going to make you rich, right? I cannot tell you how strongly I recommend to not buy new hardware for the purpose of mining Salad. Now, if you need to get maybe a RAM stick here or there, or maybe swap out a motherboard, which you really don't need to do, as this is an older motherboard. This is like a B450, so it's kind of long in the tooth right now. I highly recommend not spending any money. The point is to use hardware you already have. All of my Warthog rigs that I showed you earlier, they are all paid for, and they've been paid for quite a while. So for me, it was either sell this, which I don't want to do, as for doing tech tubing and AI/crypto tubing, I need to have certain graphics cards, so I wasn't going to sell this, and frankly I didn't really want to part with this either, as I didn't want to go through the work of selling it, especially since I can still make money on the whole rig. So right now Salad is looking for a job, and to see right now you can see it's using 49 watts looking for a job, so it really takes hardly any power. Alright, so here you can see Salad found a job, and it is chopping. So let's go down here, and you can see that it looks like it's using anywhere between 60 to 70 watts, which is really good, actually. A lot less than I thought it would be using. So that's pretty impressive. So you're looking at about 50 watts chopping, looking for a job, and about 60 to 70 watts when they find a job. So that's pretty impressive. So now that we have that info, let's calculate profitability. All right, guys, so what you've all been waiting for, the profitability. does my information back up my outrageous title? It does, in my opinion. Now, you got to listen to everything I have to say, though, before you form your opinion. All right, so I tracked idle when it was looking for a job, and it was 50 watts. And then I tracked it with the job, and it was 70 watts, the power from the wall, as you just saw. So, if we assume that I went a whole week without finding a job, it would have cost me $1.50 to run it. So, basically, pretty low risk, right? Like, don't buy a candy bar and you're good. Now, if I were to run it with a job, 24/7, it would have cost me $2.10 for the 7 days. So not that bad. As you can see, 30 cents a day, right? Well, my last 7 days was $6.09 gross. Now I have no idea how long I had a job, because that would assume that I sat there watching this thing. And remember, the point of salad is to be truly passive income, where you literally you don't touch it. You look at your account, every few days or whatever to make sure that, or you check to make sure your rig's on. Like passive income, right? So I have no idea how long it was running. So I'm going to assume the worst case, and that it cost me $2.10 to run it, which means my net profit was $3.99. And if you remember what I showed you on hashrate.no, where at my power rate 18 cents, I was basically losing 18 cents a day. I think we can agree that $3.99, and if we divide that by 7, it's about 57 cents per day. I think earning 57 cents per day profit is way better than losing 18 cents a day. Now, obviously there's disclaimers, like I have no idea how long I actually got a job, so I could have actually made more than this. I don't think I would have made less because I did the worst case scenario. And you're not really going to be able to scale this in the same way that you can scale GPUs. But if you have like even 3 or 4 of these things and you run them and you make, 57 cents per day, if you're making $2 a day profit and you're not doing anything, there could be way worse things that you could do. Now, obviously, to get paid out, you get paid out in gift cards, and you'll have to look at the store, but there is an upcharge for them to give you those gift cards, which is probably like, it's a few bucks. So it's obviously the equivalent of a few days worth of mining. So technically your profits will be a little bit less, but it's better than nothing. Like if you want to mine, this is basically the only thing one of the only ways you can do it profitably. And when I say mine at this point, we're at AI Rentals. Here's my first salad rig, right? And I decided to make a second one. I'm going to put probably a 4070 Ti on this. I might swap that out in the future. I don't know yet. But I'm definitely going to be running these 2 rigs on salad in the foreseeable future, because while some people will say it's not a lot of money, you're wasting your time, am I really wasting my time though? Right? Like if it took me, let's just say it took me an hour to get both of these set up, put together, and then I fire them off and forget them, am I really wasting my time? And if you guys have a gaming computer with like a higher end GPU, like a 4090 or a 5090, and you just want to have it idle at night and make some passive income, why not? If you're the kind of guy that doesn't like to turn your computer off and you just aren't using it, you might as well make it help you cover some of your power bill. So anyway, guys, that's it for this one. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Big shout out to Salad for sponsoring this video. And honestly, guys, go check them out. As long as you already own the hardware, it's low risk, low reward, and frankly, you can't beat that. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe. I'll see you on the next one, and look out for more salad content in the future. Peace out.